Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I am Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to reply to a question from a viewer, and this question is, should they do an MBA degree after the PhD? And essentially this is something which has happened to some people, and I do know some people who have done this kind of MBA degree after the PhD. And they did not do it immediately after the PhD, because once you have finished your PhD, you are quite burnt out from all that research you have done. So what happened to these people is they took up a job in a company, they moved through the corporate ladder and so on. And at a certain point in their career, they realized that if they want to go further in the management system and in the corporate world, they need to do the MBA degree. And why this realization happens is because if you are working in any corporation, you are essentially working in a business. And the way the businesses work are quite different. There is a lot of theory behind business. So essentially, there is the whole thinking about organizational behavior, about how to manage human resources, about how to manage money. So the accounting discipline is very important. Also, finance. The basic questions about if you want to get funding for anything within a company, you need to make a business case for it. And making this business case for any technical decision or any decision for that matter requires you to know some aspects of business, and these are often, unfortunately, never taught in the engineering school. So if you are somebody who has done a bachelor's, master's and PhD degree all in the sciences or all in technology or all in any other discipline, say psychology or sociology or even humanities, you are not going to have a lot of knowledge about how to manage some of these business issues. So if your boss comes up and says, okay, you are proposing this new software or this method, but I want you to make a business case for it, you may lack this particular knowledge. So this is the situation in which people sometimes do MBA, and do remember that many companies sponsor you to get an MBA. Now, the people I know who did the MBA after the PhD, what happened to them is that at least two people I know who did this. One person then worked in the company for some more time, but then he left and he became a CTO at a startup. So this is a case which can happen to you, because what can happen is that you essentially have a deep knowledge of technology and now you know about business. So once you know about business, you may feel that you may need to break out on your own, because remember, the PhD degree essentially taught you to be a lone ranger, and the MBA is a degree which is a degree in leadership to some extent and management. So it essentially teaches you how to manage a group of people. So these are somewhat disparate skills, and when you combine these skills, it's very hard for this person to exist in any ecosystem without trying to break out on their own. So like I said, one person went and became a CTO of a startup, and the second person I know, he started his own startup. So this is often the case if the PhDs do MBA, they are no longer able to control themselves. Their Lone Ranger thing has now got mixed up with the people management aspect, and so what they want to do is they want to break out of the corporate ecosystem. At least they have a strong desire to do that. Now, there are many companies which have in-house pathways of people doing some kind of entrepreneurship, and so essentially they let you work on some small project, or they let you do things. But I have seen very often this kind of degree combination is something which very much propels people to do a startup. So that was my take on MBA after PhD. So I would of course recommend doing this on your company expense and then going off and starting a startup if you plan to. And of course, if you are somebody who is not able to do a complete MBA, remember there are many online MBAs nowadays, so maybe you can do them. There are also several programs out there for short-term courses in business. So essentially, there are many online programs offered by the top universities in the world where they give you the gist of whatever is taught in an MBA in a period of 6 months to 1 year. So for example, there is a program by Wharton on this called Management Development Program. So these programs are often very useful. They are to some extent expensive, but if you can get your manager and management to pay for that, that will be very useful. Or if you are planning to use any of these programs to break out into the startup world, then it will be something which is useful to you, because if PhDs get to know a little bit about business, they can become very successful in that, because they can combine all their research capabilities, the fact that they are able to work on their own. That's one of the biggest advantages of a PhD, is that they don't really need a boss. They have figured out how to work out on their own, and now if they learn how to manage people, then they can essentially be good CEOs of startups. So that was my take on MBA after PhD. I hope you benefit from this video. Do subscribe to my channel and spread it among your network, and I will see you in a video sometime soon. See you then.